to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do. On 8th of December 1840, John Green, an English ganger, was placed in charge of a group of Irish railwaymen at the Cross Hill Cut near Bishop Briggs. His appointment was like putting a taper to a powder keg. 2 days later, Green was dead, and the hunt was on for his kills. The men who were executed for the murder of John Green were found guilty after a 1-day trial by law and a 6-month trial by elements of the Scottish press and the directors of the railway company. They were workers. That made them second-class citizens in the eyes of the law. They were Catholics. That was another black mark against them. They were Irish. And that was the final nail in their coffins. This story is a reminder of a shameful chapter in Scottish history, and one that is yet to be closed.
Dennis Doolan, Patrick Redding, and James Hickey, you are charged with committing murder on the 10th day of December 1840 upon a wooden bridge erected over that portion of the line of the Edinburgh and Glasgow Railway being formed at Cross Hill. You did, all or one or more of you, violently, wickedly and feloniously attack and assault John Green, then a ganger or superintendent over labourers employed at the railway near Kirkintilloch in Dumbartonshire, with an iron poker, and with an iron bar or rod, or with some other heavy and lethal weapon, inflict several blows upon the head and body of the said John Green, and did fell him to the ground, and did repeatedly jump upon him and kick him while he was lying on the ground, and did otherwise abuse and maltreat him, by all which or part thereof his skull was fractured, and he was mortally injured, and was reduced to a state of insensibility, and soon thereafter died, and was thus murdered by you all, or by one or more of you. The declarations made by each and all of you in your defence can and will be used as evidence against you, as also a silver watch, a guard chain, a Scotch or blue bonnet, a linen slop, and a pawn ticket. How do you plead?
Not guilty, my lord.
Not guilty, my lord.
Not guilty of baiting him. Let's serene off again in case you hadn't noticed.
Oh, well, thank Christ. A chance for a wee smoke.
What a nice view pleasure, is it? At long last. Ah, Jesus, me back is so dry through. How about yours, Pats?
Well, here, hold that. No, let's see what we've got here now. That's as dry as tinder then.
Ah, sure, take your word for it, Pat. Yeah, can I have some of that as well? You can have some of mine, James.
But yours is soaked through, you says.
You can blow that well, James. Where's your initiative?
At home with me back.
It's your brains is soaked through, James.
No, sure, his brain's dry, Pat. He keeps them the same place as your bat.
I'll to hell with the Perrys. You know where you can stick your friggin' back in?
Oh, come on, no, James. There's enough here for all of us.
That's right, just you form an order to queue.
Right. Is there any more for any more? No. No. Then I'll do me own.
Jesus, Pat, it's something annoying.
Not yet.
Don't be pointing at me.
I made it myself. What do you think?
That is what it is, and I'll tell you what I think.
It's a point, for God's sake.
Oh, boy, big Christ, the three of us can get a smoke from that thing. Ah, you better not be letting smoker burn see that, or be having her after.
Now, well, tell him I'll make him one for a sheriff.
You're a craftsman and a businessman, Patrick Redding. You're wasted on the railway, you know that. Men like yourself should be drawing plans, not named plates.
Aye, I can just see him. Sitting in a fancy office with all them gentlemen and their wives, and pulling out from the frontiest trousers a big plan of the railway, and all the ladies fainting. Why, Jim? That was very witty.
He's been listening to you too long, Dad.
Do you not think you get better smoke without being lit?
I was waiting for you to light me, Dan.
I'll light you all right. I'll put a match to your arse and point you to that new gang or so I will.
Yeah, Dan. Quick.
Yeah. I can stop your tricks, eh?
Yeah. Quick about it and don't take too much.
This thing's still good, Pat. You must have gave me 2 straws by mistake.
Things is tight, Dan. You know that yourself. I was talking to them laying men off at Christmas out of the mosque.
We're just hands to them, Pat.
They had another tunnel come down on Cookie Week. The fellas were buried alive. Took their own friggin' graves. I'll wager the widows didn't get tuppence to rub together either.
We're just hands to the company, Pat. The company's killing us. There's been many a good man who's died under the wheels of the iron horse. Progress, they call it. Not for them that's doing the work. You say your man, the new gang, was no one to be crossing. You say he sacked a fella that had 7 mouths to feed.
There's always talk against the gangers.
It's more than talk. You see this Green, him being an Englishman, he loves lording over the Irishman. That's what they're saying, is it? 1 month from that fella, and you're finished on the railway. 7 little ones this fella had. Green smells drink on his breath. Gives him his marching orders. It's a friggin' liberty.
The drink's a bad game through and all.
If he carries on the way he's going, he'll have no breath left of his own. He wants pistols, you know. Honest to God, Pat. Seen them with me own eyes. Right fancy ones and all. Pearl-handled. Must have cost a bloody earth. Walks around like this, he does. Pistols poking out for all the world to see. Honest, Pat, I've seen it with me own eyes.
Sure you did, James.
I'm telling you. James, I don't care if you saw the Virgin Mary and a mother in breeches. You're putting us up me pie. Look out then. Here comes trouble. Just you hold your horses, James. Once me and Pat have had your smoke, we'll follow going up the track.
I give the orders round here, mister.
And we do the work around here, mister.
What's your name?
And Dooley, sir. Me friends call me Dan, but you can call me Mr. Dooley. And what might your name be?
My name is John Green.
Pleased to meet you, Mr. Green.
Been sent here to gang over you men. You'll break when I say break.
Is that a fact now? You're here to gang Green. Hey, that's got a nice ring to it, sir, else.
You two, get back to work. Move! You're finished here, mister.
That's right, mister. I've finished my pie. It's been a pleasure meeting you.
The pleasure has not been mutual, Mr. Den Doolan. You gave me a short answer.
You asked me a short question.
I told you, you are finished here.
Look, mister, I was here for you, and I'll be here after you. Now, if you don't mind, I'll be getting back to my work. So be a good ganger and gang away. And be careful they don't go off.
Call the first witness.
Call William Lowe. Your Lordship, the Crown calls Mr. William Lowe, mapmaker, to approve the plan for Cross Hill.
Proceed.
Mr. Lowe, if you will outline the relevant positions on the map for the court.
This is a plan of the ground at Cross Hill on the Edinburgh and Glasgow Railway, showing the immediate ground upon which the murder was committed. It extends as far as the village of Auchinleirn and the house of Elizabeth Gray in the village on the south side. It is particularly marked in that area. The farmhouse at Cross Hill and the smithy occupied for railway purposes is there also. There is a wooden bridge a little way from the smithy and the house occupied by McElroy the smith. Between the bridge and Auchinleirn is laid down. The The place to the east is called the Moss or Bog, and the line extends close to it. The distance from there to the nearest point in the railway at the bridge where the men were working is 570 yards.
Thank you, Mr. Lowe. That would be all.
So you used to hold your tongue then. You got to be smarter than them bastards.
Aye, so it was. You might have seen his face when I told him to wash it and to shut himself on a boat.
Play with fire that day.
So is he, Pat. So is he. I'd venture to kick the gallows and have my revenge.
Don't your time, Dan. Revenge is in this best tasted cold.
Will you stop looking at my hands?
You know, if I wasn't a countryman, I'd say you'd the look of the Irish then, Dylan. You must be marking these cards.
I'll be marking your head in a minute if you don't put something down. A man can grow a beard playing cards with you.
It's not a man to cross down, Willy. The same when he was gang out Kirky where he took his cut to the men's wages come from him. They say out at the mosque, he sacked more men than he spoke to. They say the company sent him here to keep the contract running on time. They say
too bloody much to be better off doing something for a change.
If ever one had it coming to him, it was that one.
You still awake there, James? I thought you'd be shagged out by all that body scraping you did today.
And sometimes it's better to keep your head down then than to put it on the block. Him's a wife and a young one to think about in the old country.
Is that right, James? You never struck me as a father, James. In fact, you never struck me as a man.
Good mind to strike you with this, mister. Me friends call me Dan Dillon.
Leave over, James. You've got chest like the inside of a spoon. Should have put you in a crack of the arse and squeeze you to death. Poker or no poker.
You put it down before you do yourself an injustice, James.
Mind you, that'd be a fine darling for a young man like Ganger, wouldn't it? I could let me that would knock some sense into him.
Aye, so it would.
There's plenty of iron lying around the smithy for other hands.
You're playing with fire now, Dan.
Sure. If I can't be a linesman, I'll be a fireman.
You know, the best place for a blow is not here, but about here.
James, I would like to get a blow here, aren't they?
It's a sturdy poker.
Well, it wouldn't stand up to a pair of pistols.
Jesus, would you listen to yourself, Patrick? There's 10,000 Irishmen working their asses off between here and Glasgow for a few kids a day, and you're afraid of a pair of pistols. Christ divine with spill a man like yourself. Cromwell, when they beat to send over the army, he'd just come over himself and fire his pistols.
You heard what happened to Brian O'Rourke down in Calais. He took one in the back. He buried him where he fell. Sure, it were only a pair of pistols then. But there's cannons behind them pistols, and you know that.
And those men behind those cannons, they'll never know made of iron pot. Not even their balls. Hurt them, and they bleed the same as us.
No, they don't then. They don't bleed as much as us. Look at the railway. It's Irish blood that's on them tracks then. 7 men of oil. That's what this railway's costing us.
And it's high time somebody else paid for it.
You know what? Blow here would draw blood like water from a well.
Will you put that thing down, James? I'll wait and see if Mrs. Grace puts another pot of tea on.
Aye, and mind what Mrs. Grace said the last time, Pat. You'd feel how much as again you'd be sleeping on the floor.
Oh, well, it'd be a damn sight more comfortable.
Show me that trick with the Queen again.
Not now, James. Here, what's the difference between an Englishman and a pig's arse? It's a hard one, ain't it?
Next witness.
Call Elizabeth Gray. You are Elizabeth Gray of Auchinleck Cottage, Auchinleck.
Aye, sir, I am.
Mrs. Gray, you had 3 boarders lodging with you in December last, did you not?
Aye, sir, I did.
Do you recognise any of these men here?
Aye, sir, that's them, sir. Dan Doolan, James Hickey and Patrick Redding.
Yes, I see. Thank you, Mrs. Gray. Now, I want you to cast your mind back to the night before John Green was murdered. Could you tell the court, in your own words, what you remember of the events of that particular evening?
Well, it was a frightful call, sir.
Yes.
I came home that night a bit gloaming as usual. We all ate together as usual between 5 and 6, and after supper the men would be in the room and they shut the door behind them.
See?
They were there no more than 15 or 20 minutes, and after a wee while they started shouting and carrying on. Thought I heard something about baiting the ganger, but I can't remember the exact words now. Well, I thought I'd go into the kitchen for a clean knife and fork while they were there. You see, my kitchen's after and they were in.
Right.
I wanted to know what they were up to, and that's why I was going Ben for the knife and fork.
Excuse me, Mr. Beaton.
Yes, your lordship.
Who is Ben?
Oh, it's a figure of speech, your lordship, much in evidence amongst the lower classes. The witness means that she went into the kitchen.
I see, how quaint.
Yes.
Proceed.
Well, I still couldn't hear what they were up to. And then Pat Redding, he came through for tea. I was standing at the stove at the time, warming my hands in the kettle. And you alright there, Patrick?
Ah, fine, Mrs. Gray.
And how are the boys?
Ah, fine,
Nah, you's married to my fair blabber.
Aye.
Sometimes I wonder if fishwives are go to real women, maybe.
Ah, it's just idle talk.
Aye, but he's buzzing away in there. What's the bother?
Ah, not like it, Dad.
He's only finished work here, right?
I'm sure there's still plenty of work to be done, Mrs. Gray.
He's only thinking of moving on then. I mean, it's cheap enough here. You don't find all the makes a better clip, punishing myself. Talk to your friend Hickey, but if that wee is the square to me, then Doolan will have to himself.
We'll reckon with you, Mrs. Gray. He might be simple, but he's honest.
I believe that when I see the colour of his money. Did you hear that?
What?
Sounded like a woman's laugh. They've not got a woman in their dairy. I suppose I've heard of it. It's an honest to start another house. I think I'll be ready for me a clean cutlery.
That's yourself, Mrs. Gray.
Aye.
Hello there.
I hope he's only playing for money. I'll have no gambling in her mouth.
Sure, we've no money to be gambling, Mrs. Gray. I was just showing James a few tricks.
Tricks, is it? You owe me money, James Hickey. You know I don't like to bring it up in front of your friends.
I'll leave it up with you at the weekend then, Mrs. Gray.
Did you enjoy your broth tonight, boys?
Brag it was, Mrs. Gray. Stop to me, Renson.
Did I interrupt something? I mean, don't stop talking because I'm here.
Sure, we're just enjoying a peace and quiet.
Quiet. With the noise that was coming out of here, I've been to quiet a wedding. Look, I've got what I came for. Just go with your blather and I'll be bed. The fishwives I've got with me.
I don't think there's a man happy with the new guy out there. Then the best thing's to go against the guy. What do you mean then? I mean, I never just spoke for me this afternoon. I spoke for all the men. Aye, look where speaking got you. No man should be afraid to speak his mind, if he has a mind. You should have crossed him then. I'll get him for you then. I'll crack his skull like an egg. Well, just behave yourself, Jones. What will you do then? What would you have me to, Jones?
What's going on in here?
Ah, tomfoolery.
Aye, skullduggery, man, like. Oh, could you light that fire for us? I'm freezing to death in here.
Cold weather, Mrs. Gray.
Aye, murder.
Yes, go on, woman.
Well, the men all went to bed at the usual hour. I got up about 4:30 to make their breakfast, and I mind knocking up the fire at the time with a good country poker with a round heat. Any road. The men all had their breakfast and they went to work at the usual hour. I was washing dishes at the time. A wee while after that, I went to light the fire and I couldn't find the poker. I've not seen it since. Cost me a few bob as well.
Yes, I'm sure it did, Mrs. Gray. A very costly poker indeed. Now, what happened next?
Well, an hour and a half after that, I heard about John Green. I heard how the wagon-faced people had killed their ganger. I mind thinking to myself at the time, is it possible they've taken my poker to kill that man? Any road, the men all came back for their dinner, all but Doolan. It was between 12 and 1 o'clock. It was a bit earlier that day, with it being a wet day.
Yes.
Then Doolan, he never came back. He left a pair of trousers as well, and a shirt and a flannel summit. Down the road. I asked James Hickey would have been among them that day. He said they didn't know anything about it. And I says to him, do you know who's taken my poker? He said he didn't.
Now, did anyone else speak to you then about the events of that particular morning?
I don't remember that either Hickey or Red said anything at all about it at the time. Well, I mean, Red, he left on the Sabbath night after that, and I never saw him again till he was arrested. I mean, I've been a lodger since that time, so I mean, the Irish will have begged me out. I've lost my living out of this.
Yes, quite. Now, Mrs. Gray, I wonder if you could tell the court how Dennis Doolan was dressed when he left your house in the morning of John Green's murder.
That's a long time past, sir. He'd on a pair of corduroy trousers,
Yes.
a right plush red vest, a flannel slop under it, a black hat and a pair of boots. The slop was one of the ones that's got shirts, sleeves like a shirt, you know. Aye, you were dressed up on the last time I seen you, but in chains.
In custody. Yeah, yes.
Now, was there anything unusual about the men when they left your house on the morning of John Green's murder?
Aye, sir. They all changed hats at the door.
Right.
You see, then Doolan, he turned to wave at the gate like he always did, and he was wearing James Hickey's cap. Mind thinking to myself at the time, you wouldn't ken who was who in the dark.
Thank you, Mrs. Gray. That's what we all.
No further questions, your lordship. Your witness, Mr. Robertson. Mrs. Gray, when the men left your cottage on the morning of John Green's death, it was, as you have testified, very dark outside.
Aye, pitch black, sir. Always is that time of year.
And it was still dark an hour and a half later when you heard of the assault on John Green.
Is the ace of spades. I mean, it was dark for the best part of the morning that month. You never saw the sun.
Yes, I'm sure it was very difficult indeed to see anything. And the men worked in the dark.
Aye, they knew each other's voices, knew each other's farts, they used to say.
Yes, quite. That will be all, Mrs. Gray.
You may leave the stand, Mrs. Gray, thank you.
You don't have to get down there this morning, Dan. I'm going to pick up your wages for you. You can stay in your bed.
Stay in my bed, my Mrs. Gray knows the man like a pig in a trough. No thanks, man. I'll just go down there and get some chew to me. That's all. And I'll be off.
Well, here. You're not coming back to the cottage. You can give that to the smoker when you see him.
But you would want a shilling for it, then.
Not at all. Tell him to get it then.
You Ben! Never did show me that trick with a queen. That was no trick, James. That was magic. Don't you believe in magic, James? The hand is quicker than the eye. What else have you got up your sleeve, then, Dylan? Aye, well that would be telling.
Yeah, can I wear your bonnet this morning, Dan? I feel like a bit of a change.
You say it's as good as the rest. But I'll be wearing yours, James. My James, you're enough of big hell. What's the drill, I wonder?
You just put it on this morning, boys. Not his house, so it is.
Sure, the moon's away to his lodgings for the day, and Green's gone to sack the sun.
I remember you shot it out the sky with them pistols it is.
Come on, James, you can lead the way. I mean, 'cause your ears glow in the dark.
It's dark as night.
Here comes right, lads.
Looks like rain again.
Well, you don't see a bastard!
That's the off now!
Don't bring it on, no! That's the best you want as a mother!
Murder! Read all about it. Murder in the railway. Ganger beaten to death by his own men. Troops round up gang of wild Irishmen in the woods near Bishop Bridge. Police suspect a ribbon conspiracy. Third ganger killed in as many months. Railway company offers reward for bloody murder. Blood in the bridge where the ganger fell. Blood in the tracks below. Read all about it.
Call the next witness.
Call Patrick McElroy. You are Patrick McElroy of 14 Heathbank Cottage, Bishop Briggs.
Aye, sir.
So McElroy, you have a workshop at Cross Hill near Bishop Briggs, is that correct?
Aye, sir.
I right in assuming that most of your work is with the railway at Cross Hill.
Aye, sir. Well, the house is on the road to Auchinlearn, and that's where most of the men was, sir. And
Mac-
Smithy's at the cross.
So McElroy, you can tell the court, in your own words, remember of the day John Green was murdered.
Aye, sir. Well, I was working in the Smithy when it happened, and the first I heard it was Francis Rooney at the door. Well, I ran down to the Brigwell just to see what was going on. But I mean, at first I just thought it was like, well, some tricks among the men.
Tricks?
Aye, well, you know, like you carry on. Anyhow, well, I got to the foot of the brig, and so John Green was lying on it, on the south side. God, he was out cold. Well, I helped carry him in, and then we put him in the cart.
Aye, and you did so with the purpose of taking him to the infirmary.
Well, no, not me, sir. No, the brothers that were willing to take him there. You know, I couldn't make to Smithy.
And what happened then, Mr. McElroy?
Yeah, well, yes, sir. Well, they never made it to the hospital, sir.
Yes.
And Green died on the way,
Yes.
and that's he brought back after about an hour. God, he was cut about the head. I laid him out on my table. When the doctor came, I had a chance to look at the wounds, sir. Christ, they were terrible. Then a policeman, he turned up, and so not long after that, the poor man's father. God, I cried like a bairn, sir.
Thank you, Mr. McElroy. That will be all. No further questions, Your Lordship. Your witness, Mr. Robertson.
Mr. McElroy, you have told the court that the first you knew of the disturbance on the bridge was when the superintendent of labourers, Mr. Francis Rooney, shouted for you at the smithy door.
Aye, sir. Well, he said he thought the men were baiting one another on the brig, sir.
When were you first aware that the man lying unconscious on the bridge was John Green?
Oh, it was once we got him inside, sir. His face was all blood under a lantern, and I used a rag to wipe it away on just the best I could. It was Francis Rooney who actually saw this new guy.
It's him then.
That's him.
That's John.
Can you see all right there?
I see only too well.
It was Francis Rooney who found him first.
I was Rooney who came shouting.
There's no mistake then.
Mistake. This was my son.
Mr. McElroy, these pistols, were they no fire?
Well, I heard no shots, sir. There was screaming and shouting, but no shots. Christ, you know, poor man, he didn't have a chance. There was actually stones thrown him last night. I never thought it would come to this.
His watch is gone.
He had a watch? Well, there was no watch when he was brought in here. I mean, I've touched no watch.
Robbed and all, eh?
Aye, well, there was a crowd out in the ring last night. Christ, the Irish boys are wild. Look, I washed his face. There wasn't anything to be done. The doctor said so.
A terrible business.
Did he suffer? Quite at the end.
He suffered.
You'll get justice for the boy, you'll get justice!
Justice will bring me son back to me!
There'll be a hand for this. Mark my words, there's a rope at the end of this day's work.
Call the next witness.
Call James Green. You are James Green, 49, the Ledgate Captain Tilloch, father of the late John Green, who was employed as a ganger across hill.
I am, sir.
Mr. Green, when did you last see your son John alive?
On the morning that he suffered,
And how was he?
he was fine, sir. The next time I saw him, he was dead, lying in a little office in Bishopbridge.
When was this, Mr. Green?
This were between 11 and 12 in the same day.
Mr. Green, your son had a silver watch, had he not?
He did, sir. If I'd missed him on the day he died.
Mr. Green, is this silver watch which belonged to your son John?
It says, sir. But the immediately knows that it's gone, sir. It's been told from the guard.
Mr. Green, is this the card from your son John's silver watch?
I think so. It's very like it.
Thank you, Mr. Green. That will be all. No further questions, Your Lordship. Your witness, Mr. Rose.
Your Honour, the defence declines to trouble Mr. Green further.
You may leave the stand, Mr. Green. Thank you.
£100 for Dillon, 50 for Red. Please watch the docks. Read all about it.
Call the next witness.
Call Dr. James Cockendale. You are Dr. James Cockendale, of 8 Belmont Street, Kelvinside. Is that correct?
I am, sir.
Mr. Corkindale, you examined the body of John Green on the morning of Friday, 11th of December, the day after he was brutally murdered. Did you read the report you then made for the edification of this court?
Indeed, sir.
Thank you.
Glasgow, 11 December 1840. This is to certify that this day, under the authority of a warrant from Henry G. Bell, Esquire, Sheriff Substitute of Lanarkshire, we inspected and carefully examined the body of John Green, lying in a part of the farm buildings of Cross Hill, near Bishop Bridge in the parish of Clodagh. He seemed to have been a stout man, and at the time of his death in a prime of vigour and health. He was in his ordinary dress, which was much stained with blood, and his face was completely covered with blood in a dried state. Neither on the trunk nor on the limbs was there any mark of violence, except that there was an abrasion of skin on the little finger of the left hand, and that the large bone of the forefinger of the same hand was fractured without any wound of the flesh. On the head there were 3 large wounds, one on the left side of the scalp near the crown, 2 inches long, with clean edges and penetrating to the bone. The flesh under the brow, forming the upper eyelid of the right side, had a wound, 3 inches long, and underneath there was a fracture of that part of the frontal bone, which forms the roof of the socket of the eye. The broken fragments, though not separated from the bone, were driven inward, so as to encroach on the space for the lodgement of the brain. The wound under the brow, above the eye, attended with a push of the orbit, seemed to have been caused by a push from the extremity of a blunt instrument. That on the back part of the head, from the severe contusion of the soft parts, and from the excessive shattering of such strong bones, must have been occasioned by a blow of a heavy weapon, impelled with the entire force of which the human arm in its greater exertions can put forth. The compression of the brain by the shattered portions fully accounts for the death, as well as the rapid manner in which it took place. Attested upon soul and conscience, James Corkindale, M.D. This is a true report, and I have no doubt in the world that these wounds caused death.
And you, Dr. Corkindale, that will be all. No further questions, Your Lordship. Your witness, Mr. Robertson.
Dr. Corkindale, were there any marks on the body of John Green consistent with his being jumped upon or kicked?
No, sir, there were no marks below the neck, no injuries below the neck, other than an injury to the little finger. Probably sustained with the victim attempting to protect his head.
Thank you, Dr. Corkindale, that will be all.
You may leave the stand, Dr. Corkindale, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, there will now be a short recess for 20 minutes. Please leave the court peacefully and quietly. Thank you.
Look, we'll get you off to America, all right, then. Just you bide your time.
Well, we'll go for a turn, Smoker.
Oh, hold on a while.
I'm done to be cooped up in here.
I looked after you in Greenock, then I'll look after you here.
Sure you won't, Smoker.
Oh, we'll go back a while. No.
We do indeed. I've no seen daylight for weeks. I saw myself in the glass this afternoon and I thought I'd seen a ghost. I'm not pale. You can tie me to the flagpole, stick me out the window and I'll surrender. And look at this, Willy. 3 hairs and hardly 25 summers under my belt.
I'll come and sit yourself down here then. Take the weight off your shoulders.
This business is done for me, Smoker. Done for me, so it has.
Oh, never you mind then, Julian. Soon, you'll be in the promised land. Nae gangers lording over you. You'll be your own man.
We'll see. When's the next steamer bound for America? Did you find out?
Fine big pipe, miss. Lovely finish, then.
Smoker!
Aye, it's all organised. We'll have you out for the weekend. And
if I take the air well, it'll help me sleep.
no rest for the wicked, eh?
And what do you mean by that?
Well, you're a fugitive for the law, ain't you?
And what poor man isn't?
Nobody's wanting me for anything.
That's because you're good for nothing, Smoker Burns.
Oh, I don't know. I've done a man or two a favour in my time.
I'm just fooling, Smoke.
I'll do you a favour yet.
When I'm settled over the ladder, I'll say my thanks, Smoker. Mark my words.
Virtue is its end.
Virtue, is it? When I think of Smoker Burns, virtue's not the first one that comes to mind.
You know, Dan, my Anne and me, we've talked about going to America. A brother of ours is over there.
What, is he wanting for month or not?
No, he's a priest.
The white sheep of the family, is it? Will we go out?
Oh, hold on a while. Sit tight, I'll get that.
Ask who that is. Smoker.
Is there a Dennis Doolan in this house?
There's nobody here but that name. Smoker.
Dennis Doolan.
Smoker.
Are you Dennis Doolan?
The name's Hart. Dennis Hart.
It's him, sir, I tell you, that's Dennis Doolan. That's a man of police after in Glasgow, the man they say killed you and Ganger.
Smoker!
Dennis Doolan, I arrest you for the murder of one John Green.
Read all about it. Crosshill murderer arrested in Liverpool. Greenock man claims reward. Glasgow police still hunting for the third man. Inquiries made in London and Dublin. Read all about it.
Call the next witness.
Oh, Michael Burns. You are Michael Burns of 23, Salter Street, Greenock. Is that correct?
Aye, sir. Smoker Burns is my nickname.
Yes, quite. Mr. Burns, before we proceed, it is my duty to inform you that you are free from any part of the present charge, no matter what hand you may or may not have played in it. Do you understand?
Aye, sir.
Now then, Mr. Burns, please tell the court how Dennis Doolan came to your house in Greenock following the murder of John Green.
Well, like you said, Your Honour, I mean, he came to me. 2 o'clock in the afternoon, it was sure as I'm standing here, in a right state he was in today.
He was agitated.
Agitated? Christ, he was well near pissing his trousers.
Mr. Burns, will you please choose your metaphors with a little more discretion?
Apologies, Your Lordship. And then, Mr. Burns, what did Dennis Doolan tell you? He arrived in the house that fateful Thursday afternoon.
Well, he said he'd come from Glasgow and
Yes.
he'd been sacked the night before. He said the police was after him for the beating of the ganger, so he'd come to my place till such a time as he could get what would fetch him out of the country.
How long did Dennis Doolan stay with you? in Greenock, Mr. Burns?
Well, I'd say it would be getting on for 3 weeks or more, Your Honour. We went away on a Saturday.
Would that have been Saturday, January the 2nd, Mr. Burns?
Aye, that's right. Aye, come to think of it, aye, it would have been. It was the end of Christmas, any road.
Mr. Burns, you've been warned.
I'm sorry, Your Honour, it just slipped out without me notice.
I detain before you speak, Mr. Burns. Now, did this Dennis Dillon openly admit to you that part he had played in the murder of John Green?
Well, I don't know about openly, Your Honour. It was like getting blood out of stone. Not so much as a cheap out the guy.
Yes. Now, please tell the court what happened when Dennis Dillon left your house in Greenock, Mr. Burns.
Well, I went with him, Your Honour, to Liverpool in a steamer. And once we got there, we went to Cheslin Street, to a safe house, sir.
Yes, and what action did you then take?
Well, once we got to Cheslin Street, there's the rub.
Mr. Burns, extinguish that light immediately.
I'm awfully sorry, Your Honour. It's my only weak spot. See, that's how I got my nickname. Smoker Burns, that's me. Now, where was I?
You were in Liverpool, Mr. Burns!
Alright, Liverpool. Right, of course, well. I went to the police commissioner and I gave him information as to where Dan Doolan was hiding out, and they came and they taken him away right in front of my eyes.
Yes, that will be all, Mr. Burns. No further questions, Your Lordship. Your witness, Mr. Robertson.
Mr. Burns, when you reported Dennis Doolan's whereabouts to the Liverpool Constabulary, were you then aware of the offer of a reward of £100 for any information leading to his arrest?
I'd heard tell of the reward, Your Honour, but that's not why I turned him in.
Do you expect to get some of this reward, Mr. Burns?
Aye, I expect I will, but when I led the police to Dan Doolan, it wasn't for the reward. I was doing the man a favour, and he took the confidence out of me.
He took advantage of you.
Aye, he took me for a fool.
I see. And nobody takes Smoker Burns for a fool.
Too right, they don't.
No further questions, Father?
You may leave the stand, Mr. Smoker Burns. Call the next witness.
Oh, Anne Burns. You, Anne Burns of 23 Salter Street, Greenock, wife of Michael Burns, is that correct?
That's right, sir.
Mrs. Burns, would you tell the court in your own words what you remember of Dennis Doolan's stay in your house in Greenock in the latter part of December last?
Well, sir, let's see now. Smoker, he brings home this man either the Thursday or the Friday afternoon.
Would you indicate to the court the man in question, please?
Him there, sir, the handsome one. Ben Doolan's his name.
Yes, quite. Mrs. Burns, did Dennis Doolan ever tell you why he was in hiding in your house in Greenock?
Aye, sir. He said he'd been at the meeting with a man called Green.
Did he state what part he had played in that particular meeting?
Well, no, sir. I asked him straight out, but he just taps the side of his nose as if to say mind your own business. He asked me to get him the newspaper, sir, the Herald and the Argus and that. He was an educated man. Could tell by the way his lips never moved when he was reading.
Yes, go on.
Well, sir, there were bits in the paper about the gang that got bait, and Doolan read them. Well, it said in the papers that when Green was getting bait, he cried out, "Murder, murder, are you going to kill me?" And Doolan, he says the papers were good for nothing but wiping your air frame. Oh, sorry, his words, sir, no mine.
Oh, that's quite all right, Mrs. Burns. Now, when Dennis Doolan was staying with you in your house in Greenock, do you recollect at all washing his clothing?
Aye, sir. The filth of the things were from working in the railway. It's a right dirty job, so it is. Dirty and dangerous, Smoker used to say.
Yes. And when you were washing Dennis Doolan's clothing, was your attention drawn to anything unusual, untoward?
Aye, sir, it was. On the cuff of his shirt, there were these wee dark spots, like there might be blood or something.
Thank you, Mrs. Burns. That will be all. No further questions, Your Lordship. Your witness, Mr. Roberts.
Mrs. Burns, Did Dennis Doolan ask you to wash his shirt?
Well, no, sir. He said he'd do it himself. He borrowed some of smoker's things. But I keep a clean house, and I wasn't going to leave these dirty clays together and dust in my house.
So you washed them?
Aye, I did.
These dark spots on Dennis Doolan's shirt, you say they might have been blood.
Aye, they came out with a good scrub.
Could they have been oil stains or mud perhaps from the railway tracks?
I suppose so.
Thank you, Mrs. Burns. That will be all.
You may leave the stand, Mrs. Burns. Thank you. Call the next witness.
Call Samuel Lloyd. You are Samuel Lloyd, a Home Officer in the Liverpool Constabulary. Is that correct?
I am, sir.
Mr. Lloyd, do you recognise any of these prisoners at the bar?
I do, sir. That man there is Dennis Doolan.
How did you come to know this one, Dennis Doolan?
In the line of duty, sir.
Proceed.
Acting on information received from one Michael Burns, I proceeded to the house where Dennis Doolan was lodged and apprehended him on a charge of murder. He denied being Doolan at the time and said his name was Hart, but he fitted the description, sir. He did not resist arrest, but came quietly, though still denying his identity and any part in the murder for which he was apprehended. That's all, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Lloyd. And for all further questions, your lordship, your witness, Mr. Roberts.
The defence declines to question Mr. Lloyd, Your Honour.
You may leave the stand, Mr. Lloyd. Thank you.
Heed money on.
It's our money, Michael. The railway company owed you all that work, and what had you to show for it, eh?
Nothing.
That's right, nothing. And knew you were £100. It was a good day's work you done doing their smoker buns. You only do nothing. I've written to my brother. There'll be an open house for us out of the water. £100. Just think what that'll get us.
Okay, isn't it thanks to Doolan's brother in Boston, that's for sure?
We'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Stop your giving you. Can we smoke?
Oh, for Christ's sake, Anne!
Smoke it? What do you need that for?
Do you know, see, Anne, we sell the man, we sell him to the scaffold for money!
For £100, smoke it? £100? It was a bargain.
Aye, a bargain made in hell.
None of the hard stuff for you, but...
Oh, life's hard enough for me, John. I mean, no need a drink to make it any harder. Besides, say water's good for your spirit.
What's me good without a touch of fire in it, but... Why isn't it for your spirit?
And if you play with fire, you get burned. That's what my mother always says.
It won't take me in the morning, isn't it? Same with that 3 years building, eh?
What's it to you?
It's as good as something, that's it.
How does he know?
It's not even the tables.
What's all it?
Some fella put them in for a walk. £100.
£100? Sometimes what's called £100. We can be right arm for never mind £100.
Says my offer for you, take that. Price and usual. You waste something's off on £50.
Oh, the railway directors is off. Would you ever sell of a sudden? Time was with sixpence would have bought me. £50, yeah. I reckon that's about fair. I'm half the man then doing laws. £50 in my head. I wish I had 50 in my pocket. But I'm doing 6 to my name. Isn't it a terrible thing when a man can't even afford himself? Oh yeah. Heads. I'd say the Queen. You not think we're becoming a bounty hunter, have you, John?
So they're Lanny's part and they're Wally's. I young fella Hinckley, Hickey. Like Hickey, that's him. He turned Queen's Evidence quick enough.
James was always one for stories.
It's a bad business all together, but government's right to scare you Irish fellas. Talking to papers about making an example.
I've been an example to no one, I'm telling you. So you'd think being an Irishman was a crime.
Mind you, they say there's a bit of blackguard that guy.
Oh, well, there was no saying.
That was the names in the venue.
Well, he got his reward.
I say he'll get justice.
There's been justice. Do I look like a dead man, John?
A funny one, that is. Listen, you and Denny's have done nothing wrong in my eyes. They say I've been found a murder by. What's they don't have a witness? Can't lay your fingers. Tell me, pal. Between you and me, did you ever hang the gun?
Look, a bat and a mower, or even a worm couldn't have seen what happened that morning. Dark it was, dark as hell. Hard to see just what was going on, what we men jostling one another on the brig. I mean, this Green, he got on the wrong side of mud and then doing it. There must have been 20 men in that brig at one time. Somebody tied the green ribbon to the far end. No man on earth could cross that and lift it to the tail. Then Green steps out in the darkness.
Huh?
His head was.
He always got a fire tape back.
And there was a fire in the brig, John. There was no moon and no lantern. There was a light in men's eyes, and a fire in the bellies.
Got a fire leak for me here. And a woman warming herself with it. You see, you don't get your fingers burnt that way. £50 a lot of money. You start a new life for £50. Nah, you're worth more than that to me, my friend. See you in a moment.
What was it you wanted to speak to me about, Patrick?
Ah, she said, Mary, take the weight off your feet. There's something I'd like to put into your hands for safekeeping. You can mislay things when you're on the move.
It's not a pistol, is it? I won't be minding a pistol for no one.
Will you take me for a woman, a highwayman?
As long as it's not trouble. Why?
Pawn ticket,
What for?
a watch.
And that's all then, just this. We found a watch once. Before you hand someone, you must do. A watch is a useful thing. You're supposed to give it back if you can.
Just look after the ticket, will you? There's a pound on it, but the watch is worth a damn sight more, I'll wager.
Don't worry, I'll be careful.
Thank you, mate. Just believe in the trust.
I had the ticket here, sir. I knew there was something bad going on. We looked at the state of the tickets and we suspected something. Kept himself to himself, the lad did. To think there'd been a murderer in my house. Would they be hanging him, I wonder? It's a crying shame. That was a worried man, and it was plain to see. You only had to look at him. A woman can tell these things. I saw it, sure enough, that. I like for these things. Of course, I'll testify. I was using the green.
You're Mary Bergen, 11 Blackbush Road, Austinley, West Riding of Yorkshire.
Yes, sir.
Mrs. Bergen, do you recognise any of the prisoners at the bar?
Yes, sir. Him there, sir. Patrick Redding is his name.
How did you come to be acquainted with this Patrick Redding?
He came to my house on New Year's Day, sir. He said he'd come from Glasgow. He started working out at the quarry and boarded with me.
He gave you something for safekeeping, did he not?
That's right, sir. If we're a pawn ticket for a watch, he gives me the ticket and asks me to take care of it until he needed it.
Did you then examine this ticket, Mrs. Bergen?
I looked hard at it, sir. I can't read no writing, but I could make out the little print.
Yeah.
I couldn't make out any words at all, but I heard Redding say that he'd pawned the watch at Leeds for £1. But when Redding tells me he's got to be moving on, I goes to Constable Hinchcliffe and tells him about the ticket. But then Redding, he gets taken away to Scotland, doesn't he?
And you, Mrs. Bergen, that will be all. No further questions, your lordship.
You may leave the stand, Mrs. Bergen, thank you.
Read all about it. Police in England hold third man for the Crosshill Railway murder. Patrick Redding taken in Yorkshire. £50 reward claimed by local woman. Case goes to the High Court. Read all about it.
Call the next witness.
Yes, your lord. Call William Hinchcliffe. You are William Hinchcliffe, Constable of Upper Thong, village of Almonbury, West Riding, of Yorkshire.
Sir.
Constable Hinchcliffe, do you recognise any of the prisoners at the bar?
I do, sir. That man there is Patrick Redding.
And how did you come to know of this Patrick Redding?
In the line of duty, sir. I received a report that one of the Glasgow railway murderers might be in the vicinity. Acting upon this information, I went to a public house and apprehended the said Patrick Redding. Upon further inquiry, I was led to the house of Mrs. Mary Bergen to look for a watch. The said Mrs. Bergen told me she'd been in possession of a ticket for a watch belonging to Redding. I visited several pawnbrokers in Leeds and found the watch at Mr. Longbottom's.
Mr. Hinchcliffe, is this the silver watch you found, Joseph Longbottom's? The watch for which Patrick Redding had deponted?
It is, sir.
Thank you, Constable Hinchcliffe. That will be all. No further questions. Your Lordship, your witness, Mr. Roberts.
The defence declines to cross-examine the witness.
You may leave the stand, Constable Cobbs, thank you.
Your Honour, Constable Hinchcliffe's testimony concludes the evidence for the prosecution.
Shall we proceed with the summing up?
Certainly, your Lordship. From the very nature of the evidence laid before the jury, I shall simply leave the matter in your very capable hands, craving a verdict of guilty. I understand that the learned gentleman on the opposite side of the bench does not wish to address them, and neither will I utilise this privilege to which I am fully entitled.
Thank you, Mr. Green.
Thank you, your Lordship.
Mr. Roberts.
I do not see that it would be serviceable to the prisoners to address the jury, or to lay before them any analysis of the evidence. I will therefore leave the case in the hands of the court, and of you, the jury, confident that should any doubt arise in your minds, the prisoners at the bar would fully receive the benefit of it.
Thank you, Mr. Baird. Gentlemen of the jury, this is a very serious case, and in all its features a most remarkable one. Few such have occurred during my experience. Both the public prosecutor and the counsel for the defence has declined to address you. This has imposed upon me a very important duty in summing up the evidence, in which I have taken with as much fullness and accuracy as possible. Insofar as the law of the case is concerned, it is my duty to point out to you two very common delusions. First, that if a party of men sallied forth and waylaid another and used such weapons as were libelled, merely for the purpose of giving him a beating, and they killed him, that in these circumstances they did not commit murder. And next, that of an individual who went out with the others, and though he did not lift his hand, if he was called nice and of the ranks, and abetted and encouraged them by his presence, being supposed not guilty acting part in the proceedings. If he was present and did not interfere to prevent it, but on the other hand entered into an arrangement by which the deed was to be committed, who could say he wasn't acting part guilty? I call upon you to give due weight to all the evidence and all its bearing. These men are strangers in our country. They differ from us in religion. And I dare say they think they're not in safe hands. But they know little of this judicial bench, or of the intelligence of a Scottish jury, if they think their interests will be overlooked. Gentlemen of the jury, you will now retire carefully to consider your verdict. The court is adjourned.
What will you have me do, James? Never did show me that trick with a queen then.
Dark as hell it was. Justice won't bring my son back tonight! You'll be hanging for this, not my words. There's a rope at the end of this day's work.
Is it possible they could take my poker to kill that man?
You'll soon be in the promised land then, Dylan.
I don't have a witness. Can't believe it.
Of course, I'll testify. I'll be duty to the queen.
These men are strangers in our country. Gentlemen of the jury, have you elected a spokesman?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And have you reached a verdict?
We have, sir.
Is your verdict unanimous?
It is, sir.
What is your verdict?
We find Dennis Doolan, Patrick Redding guilty as charged, sir. James Hickey, we find guilty, Arts and Parts, and recommended for mercy.
Who's she?
Thank you. After a patient and attentive consideration of the evidence in this painful case, and after one of the most impartial charges that has ever been brought to a jury, that jury has found Dennis Doolan and Patrick Redding guilty of the charge against them. They have found James Hickey not guilty as an actor, but guilty art and part of one of the most atrocious crimes that has ever been committed in Scotland. It is a crime which I am happy to say is of rare occurrence in this part of the kingdom. It is a crime, however, by no means rare in another part of Her Majesty's dominions, of which these men are natives. And I am very much afraid that the brutal conduct which has been so exhibited, and the frequent escapes from justice, which there takes place in many counties of that land, has not at least been the means of deterring them from entering into an act of deliberate murder. You are probably of a different religious persuasion than the majority of the people in this place. But you will find people in this city willing and able to give you every spiritual assistance. And I pray you take their heed in these your last days. The sentence of the law is that the court discerns and adjudges you, Dennis Doolan, Patrick Redding and James Hickey,
to be carried from this place back to the prison of Glasgow, and to be detained there till Friday the 14th day of May next. And upon that day, between the hours of 8 and 10 in the forenoon, at or near to Cross Hill in the parish of Codder and the Shire of Lanark, or such other place within the said county as the Sheriff of Lanarkshire shall appoint, and there by the hands of the common executioner you shall be hanged by the neck upon a gibbet until you are dead, and your body shall be buried within the precincts of the said prison of Glasgow, all which is pronounced for doom.
Oh, it's better than the 7 years anyhow.
You know, I never thought it would come to this, Pat. Sometimes I wake up in the middle of the night and I think it all must be a dream. And I wake up and I see stripes across the face of the moon and I think to myself, why have they put the poor old man on the moon behind bars?
Yeah. It's one way of looking at it, I suppose.
Every way you look at it, it makes no sense. The jailer said they're expecting thousands at the cross. Jesus, you'd think it was market day or something.
That's a popular thing with the crowd then. Watching someone else though, it can give you a great feeling of superiority.
Yeah, but for the grace of God.
Aye, something like that. Say a public hangings like a shipwreck, women and children to the fore.
I hope they're not disappointed. I wouldn't like to let anybody down.
You know, it's strange what you think about when you're ready to die. I was just thinking to myself, how you're born in the end of a road, after they cut you from your mother like. And now you and me's to die in the end of the road.
Aye. Well, at this time there's no midwife standing by to cut us free. The most at the end of our tether, you know. Brother wrote to me from New York to say he'd take me place in the scaffold. I wrote back asking me about taking a hangman's place and bringing a sharp knife and a couple of fast horses with him. My sister's been keeping a vigil outside the jail for a week now. They won't let us talk.
How was James before he left?
Quiet. I've been saying to. Do you know that little bugger had the cheek to ask me to write to his wife and tell him goodbye?
Did you?
How could I say no? You know, James, his head wasn't wally to the best of times. When they put the pair of us together in the same cell at Bridwell, poor James thought I was going to do the hangman's work for him. I did feel like throttling him though. There's no one to blame. Police came down hard on him, roasted him so they did. See, they'd have swore against his own ma. So water under a brig now.
Well, I hope Australia knocks some sense into him.
Sure it will. This whole bloody business will knock some sense into him. Shaking like a leaf he was when he heard him be spared the news. He didn't know whether to laugh or cry. And it's a sort of a fit he did. I had to give him a big cloud to stop him from jabbering. Funny though, I thought it'd be me to get away in a boat.
I'd like to have our James building a railway from Sydney to Hernos.
Yeah, what do you call them things? You know, with a lot of wines in the sack at the front. With a tail on that. Month we saw one at the fair.
Oh, a kangaroo.
That's it. A kangaroo. You know, just see James getting carried away in one of them things.
Ah, well, he could keep his back and dry that way.
Aye, and his brains. Cold as a crop down here, ain't it? They spoke hard against us, Pat.
There'll always be hungry then. There's a lot that spoke hard against us. This all was under the big town. There's no turning back the clock.
Dying for a smoke, so I am. And to think, I gave that Judas smoker Burns one of your fancy pipes of yours. Oh, to God, the bastard chosen.
How did they sleep then?
Oh,
Now you put us here. How did they sleep?
like friggin' logs, I suppose, and fiddle bells.
Selling a man for money, it must weigh heavy on your conscience.
Money will buy your new conscience, Pat. You know your trouble. You think too well of people, so you do. They're always thinking it'll be better over the next stage.
Oh, well, not anymore. I've no more hope left in me. No light at the end of this one.
Father O'Malley said what you like to can't over heart. Could you take us through the darkness?
Well, we could be doing with James's ears now, couldn't we? Mind the way he went all red of a cold morning.
Here, give me your hand.
For
Never mind.
no, hey. Back as hell in here, ain't it?
There has been talk among you of revenge. Talk of taking the law into your own hands. Beware the law. The law will burn your hands. I know it is hard to lose friends, fellow workers, countrymen, men who share your faith. I understand your outrage, believe me. The gallows are a glass in which we see the image of the law. But if we see only the hand and not the heart of justice, if we see justice only on the scaffold and not in the scales, only in murder and not in mercy, then it is not justice that we see, but revenge. But you must not stoop there now. There must be no conflagration at Cross Hill. There are those in this city who would like to see you with your shovels and picks come up against the troops and their artillery. Do not be lured into their web. You cannot fight fire with fire. This is a time for courage and dignity. A time for prayer, not revenge. Stay away from that evil carnival of hate tomorrow. Stay away from Cross Hill. Stay at home and light a candle for the souls of Patrick Redding and Dennis Doolan. Do not let yourselves be reflected in their eyes. It is a dark spectacle they intend. A dark glass they hold out for you. Keep it dark. Hide the brightness of your anger from them. Hide your light from their darkness.
They said that it was for the good of us both I couldn't see him. I'm sure if I'd looked into his eyes, I'd have seen innocence there. No, they said. It's better for you both. Better to deny a sister's last farewell to her poor brother. They killed him slow. They killed the name goon as well as the man. Our father can't raise his head in King's County for the shame of it. Den came here, like me, to do honest work. They say he murdered a man, but I don't believe it. If there was justice in this world, my brother would be by my side, and an old man wouldn't be dying of a broken heart. They talk of murder. It was murder you saw here today with all them airs and graces. All them people staring like it was a peep show. You'd think the Glasgow Fair had come early. Cold-blooded murder. The majesty of the law, they said. Sure, the law's no better than a bloody lynch mob. A hanging party set up by the railway company. My brother was murdered. On evidence you could have spat through. I spit in your knob.
Public execution Cross Hill. 100,000 see the Cross Hill murderers go down. Read about their conduct on the scaffold. Ben goes down like a baby. Dylan takes 20 minutes to die. Full story inside. Not for the faint of heart.
I'll take those your friggin' blood for the shit, use your bastard. I'll eat to the girl with you.
Sir, I understand by the nature of your work that your name could never be mentioned in this court for fear of retribution from the family and friends of whom it is your business to dispatch. Although your identity be secret, your office is a public one. And with this in mind, I'd fine you £5 for the lawful killing of Dennis Doolan and Patrick Brady in Cross Hill. Furthermore, it's my duty to inform you that the slow suffering of Dennis Doolan was a source of great distress by the gentlewoman closest to the scaffold. There is a petition with 10,000 signatures been sent by Bishop Murdoch stating the man was strangled. What do you have to say to this?
The rope, sir, was new and stiff, and so it slipped round under the poor fellow's ear. Once those blocks were away, there was nothing I could do to help.
I see.
Did the other get in kindly though?
Nice to see you. Did you enjoy it? Yes, enjoy it, weren't you? Don't forget that we're ethnic minorities as well. Almost too good.